Hi, I'm Quinn McIntosh, and I'm here with.
Jasmin Velasquez. I am running for mayor of the Shepherd's Park.
Wonderful. So I'm going to ask you 5 quick questions, and I hope we just get to know you a bit better. So to start off, in our survey, a lot of people mentioned that they believe that the biggest issue with police right now is that there's a big negative stigmatization around them. And they want officers to spend more time engaging with the community as officers. Is this something worth spending time doing?
I think so. I feel like people should have a positive view. They shouldn't view our officers as I know a lot of people will be like, they're saying that cops are like bad. They have a bad reputation. I think our officers should be more involved in the community. They can attend more events within the community, and then we can also increase officer training, so a lot not so negative stuff can happen.
All right, wonderful. A follow-up to that is the other major perspective on police was that they wanted them to, instead of focus on community involvement, focus on preventing crime, preventing crime before it happens, preventative action.
Yeah.
Is this more worth our time than community interaction, or?
Well, if we can prevent crime before it may happen, then yeah, honestly, because we also want a safer environment for all of our residents. We want people to want to come to our city, and I think that if we just overall have a safer environment, being able to prevent it before it happens, I think that also goes with officer training and stuff like that. I think that's a lot. We should focus our time on that.
All right, wonderful. So I'm going to move on to a different topic. So Lombard is surrounded by towns like Glen Ellen and Elmhurst that are known for their commercial centers, like their shops, their downtowns. Lombard is doing its best. It's known for stuff, but it's definitely not Glen Ellen or Elmhurst. Mm-hmm. And it's got a lot of spaces right now, like Yorktown and downtown spaces that are empty.
Yeah.
How would you, what would you use? Would you use those spaces more for residential, commercial, industrial uses, or?
Yeah. I would probably use those more for housing. Honestly, that could also help housing be more affordable if we use those spaces, and that can also help us lower our prices and stuff like that with housing too.
Okay, and that brings us into our next question about housing. Sometimes a big issue in housing is the diversity of housing. People moving in find that houses are either too expensive or too small, and so the housing does not serve community needs. How would you want to approach this? This issue?
Okay. With landlords, I would want to enforce rent control so they cannot raise the prices, or the residents would have their price and they wouldn't be able to be charged more, and that would make housing more affordable. They know what they're coming for. And then for housing, that also goes with taking up the empty space. We can put that into we can make housing there, and then it wouldn't have to be so expensive. There isn't a lot of limited space. We have that space too that can also be used for housing.
Wonderful. Last question is about the So Lombard has really in touch with its history. We celebrate Lilac Time, and we have parades, we have big events and whatnot. But recent businesses like Muslims for World Coffee and other cultural cafes have been appearing around town, kind of showing that there is more of a cultural diversity to Lombard than initially meets the eye. Mm-hmm. What would you do to incorporate these different cultural identities into maybe a more stagnant version of Lombard's history?
Okay, so I think our city should be welcoming to everybody. So basically, I would want to encourage her to come here. Honestly, having like you said, restaurants and stuff like that, the people, all these different cultures. I think that's also a good idea to make that better. And then to celebrations, we can also do celebrations of other cultural holidays and stuff like that. That can also encourage people to that more, be more accepting, and if we just educate our city, that would also.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and I hope this information helps whoever watches whatever part of this to make up their mind and make smart, informed decisions on this process. Thank you so much.